Bottle server at club owned by Chloe Sevigny's brother was brutally raped by manager who left her bloody and bruised. States lawsuit, which claims she lost work when she told bosses. The brother of Oscar-nominated actress Chloe Sevigny is being sued by an employee who claims she was raped by the manager at his club. In court papers filed over the weekend, a bottle server at the club Paul's Casablanca claims that she was brutally raped by Joshua Menendez after likely being slipped a date rape drug. The complaint later states that when the woman worked up the courage to confront Menendez about the alleged assault, he refused to discuss the incident, while Sevigny began taking away all shifts that the plaintiff had scheduled with the defendant. It is also alleged in the complaint that claims the club would hire an investigator to look into the incident were all for show. It was not until defendants learned that Ms. Eliasson had retained legal counsel that they belatedly terminated Menendez in an attempt to avoid legal liability, states the court filing. In addition to Sevigny and Menendez, Sway Lounge and the club's co-owner Brian McPeak are also named as defendants in the suit, filed by Michael Woolman of Wigler Law. The complaint alleges that on October 7, plaintiff and Menendez were celebrating a profitable night at the club when they opened a bottle of champagne along with some other staff members. It was clear to plaintiff that defendant Menendez was under the influence of drugs and alcohol that evening, and it was commonplace for Menendez to consume alcohol and cocaine while at the club, reads the court filing. After just one glass of champagne, the plaintiff says she blacked out, and only remembers crying upstairs at the club, Menendez putting a white powdery substance to her nose for her to sniff and coming in and out of consciousness and looking behind her and seeing defendant Menendez having sexual intercourse with her from a rear-entry position. The complaint states that she eventually came to that afternoon. Plaintiff awoke in her apartment covered in blood, and with cuts and bruises all over her body. She was naked and had no recollection of how she got home, reads the filing. She went into her bathroom where the toilet seat had been ripped off, and there was blood everywhere. The plaintiff claims she spoke with others who were present that night, but all they could tell her was that they had left the club and she remained behind with Menendez. Desperate to learn more about what had occurred, Ms. Eliasson approached defendant Menendez within a couple of weeks to ask what he had done, reads the complaint. Defendant Menendez responded that he did not want any drama, and he refused to discuss what he had done. Defendant Menendez also smugly indicated that he was impressed that Ms. Eliasson had even mustered the courage to approach him. The plaintiff also spoke to Sevigny. The decision to approach defendant Paul Sevigny was made easier by the fact that his famous sister, actress Chloe Sevigny, is an outspoken supporter of women's rights who advocates for smashing the patriarchy, note court papers. Accordingly, plaintiff was hopeful that the club would respond in an appropriate manner to her extremely serious complaint. That was not the case, however, according to the plaintiff, who said she lost her most profitable shifts and then eventually left her job in March when she began suffering panic attacks as a result of the alleged assault. Menendez was eventually fired. The filing does not, but only after the plaintiff hired legal counsel. A rep for Paul Sevigny did not respond to a request for comment.